Good morning, Garden of England, Thursday morning. Much nicer morning this morning, although there's still a bit of a wind, so I'm in the lee of the wind at the moment to record this, quite close to the road as you might hear. So a way back when I would do the island, I would start the course off by explaining the process by using on the flip chart a big U shape, a horseshoe shape of a line. And what I explained was that when you come into the course, you come in with your current reality. And what was going to happen as you went through the process was you'd begin to figure out what you need to let go of. And at the sort of foot of it, so that's like halfway down, if you like, one side of the horseshoe, and then when you get to the bottom, there was this kind of notion of becoming aware, really aware of who you are, what you are, where you're at this stage in your life. And then as we climb up the other side of the horseshoe, then what starts to happen is, well, previously we're letting go of stuff. It's now like letting come. What is it you have to do with your life now? And then finally you would leave with the top of the U shape, your future history. And so what's interesting has been that in the last few days I've had a number of inquiries, just people who I've taken calls from who are interested in coaching, for example. And usually, you know, that when I end up doing the coaching stuff, usually online, or I do that walkabout coaching, it's usually executives or business leaders, entrepreneurs, professionals, people who are in a place where they're at a crossroads. They've got decisions to make about the future. And what was interesting about the calls this week was that most of them were of an age. By and large, most of the time I've got people in their mid-career who are at important junctions and they're needing help with making decisions, and I take them through usually if I'm doing an online thing with them, it'll be a 4-hour workshop process, which is very powerful. But this time these people are of an age, and all of them without exception were over 60. And what's interesting about that age group and beyond is when we're much younger, when we're coming to Mindstore, yeah, we're really keen on getting clarity of our goals and programming and getting out there to do whatever it takes to achieve. And if you've been with me for a long time, you know that works, you know it's changed your life. If you hadn't come to the course, you would have lived a completely different life. And I certainly would have if I hadn't come across this stuff. And when I got first into this, in my late 20s, early 30s, I was like a little boy in a sweetie shop. I wanted everything, and the realisation, oh my goodness, it just depends on how big you think. And I got everything that I wanted because it works. But when you get a bit further on, what's very interesting is when it comes to maybe that notion of letting go and letting come, is you're more inclined less to want to direct what Source is going to do, but in fact to let Source let you know what you've got to do by following, as it were, Source, by opening up to what Source is leading you to. And that's why this retreat that I'm going to be doing in the 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th of July, up in an amazing campsite just north of Boston in Lincolnshire. People there, and what's interesting is the people who have booked, by and large, are in this group too. Not always, but many of them are. And what is going to be really, really powerful is because it's a retreat of silence, except for the debriefing hours each evening around the campfire. Each person's going to be going into themselves, and by going out and engaging with the environment, whether they walk through the countryside, they walk along the river, they head into town, they're going to attract people, places, opportunities. They're going to attract all kinds of stimuli which will reinforce their new whys. The new whys of maybe in the new direction. And the beauty of it is letting Source, and the dog's barking because it's so important, really barking, is to let Source direct you when you get to this phase. It's less you sort of uncovering what you want, but rather letting source direct you. And it's really exciting. So, you know, I bought a tent for £19. You don't have to spend a fortune to make this work for you. You know, and I'm not charging anybody for the facilitation of the debriefing sessions. You're not charging for my time. You charge yourself by just getting involved in the process. I actually believe that this may well be, for many of you who follow me, this might be literally the opportunity of a lifetime, or rather the lifetime you've got left. And I would encourage you to get out your comfort zone and think about joining us. Now what I'll do tomorrow, because I'm travelling tomorrow, is tomorrow I'll just put up a video of the campsite to let you see how kind of sophisticated it is. It's a really, really unique campsite. There's accommodation on it, so you don't have to buy a £19 tent, or you can be like me and a few others. You've bought a cheap tent and you're just going to do the camping thing. But whether you're in accommodation there or whether you're in a tent, we'll get together in the evening. We're going to have a campfire and we're going to do some amazing work. And you, if you participate, are going to uncover really amazing things. And the sharing of that and the coming together of a unique group, a once in a lifetime group. And you know how it works, this kind of thing. What happens on retreats stays on retreats. So there'll be a lot of sharing, there'll be a lot of trusting, and there'll be a lot of coincidental kind of relationships that'll just make sense, the connection we all have to one another. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I've always enjoyed facilitating retreats, but in the silence part has always been when the most profound things happens. So 3 days of structured silence is going to be just amazing. So I'll put up that video tomorrow and really, really think about it. What's your excuse for not coming? And remember, to come you got to come by public transport, because the journey is part of the retreat. What you attract, what you overhear, what you see, what you miss as things go by when you're travelling. It's going to be amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. The other thing I'm looking forward to is to teach the actual Next Level Mindstore course here in Canterbury, 28th of June. There's still places, and it'll be a full 9 till 5 programme for absolute beginners. Tons of stuff to get immersed in very quickly, and for people who are repeating, like maybe you if you're thinking about it, some really cool advanced stuff. So quite a lot happening in the next few weeks for me in terms of Mindstore, and I won't be able to post tomorrow because I'm travelling, but I'll probably be back maybe a week on Friday, because I'm going back up to Glasgow, meeting family and friends, having another jolly. So see ya probably a week from now. Have a wonderful June time. Bye now. Bye bye.